Welcome to Spotlight. I'm Sue Rakowski, and I'll be speaking with Andrew Kercher in just a moment. Today's sponsor is Semco Energy Gas Company. Welcome to the show. Andrew Kercher is the Community Engagement Manager at the museum in Port Huron. Welcome.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
There's always a ton going on at the museum.
It's true. New Year's is always, I always really like New Year's. If I'm being perfectly honest, I like New Year's even more than Christmas. And I think one of the reasons why is I feel like as a historian, we've claimed another one. 2022 is now in the history books. But we are always excited. We're always looking forward into 2023. And I think some of the biggest news we have is there's getting to be a little bit of a shakeup. There's some new stuff coming into the museum. We always like to have new exhibits. But for new exhibits to come in, it means that exhibits we've had do have to go out.
Yep.
Yeah. So Discovery City, it's been wildly popular. This is our kids exhibit. We now have a last day, February 19th.
Okay.
So people still have a couple weeks to come in, play with Edison the dog. We're looking actually for some potential new homes for Edison. So we might be back with some news on that. But right now, that's kind of his last day at the museum. And that means we'll have room for new exhibits.
Fun.
The one that we're really excited about, last year a lot of people came and saw Perspectives. So that was a community art exhibit, art created during the pandemic. And it was so successful. We had so many contributors from the community. We wanted to try and replicate that a little bit. And so this year's exhibit is called Portraits of Port Huron. And it is an exhibit of just portraiture, which I think is going to be really interesting because we have a lot of really good portraits in the museum's collection that we own. Obviously, painting people is one of the oldest things you can paint.
Sure.
There are literally cave paintings of other people,
Sure.
portraits. And you can learn a lot from a portrait. A portrait can tell you a lot more than just what somebody looks like.
Sure.
I think it's an underappreciated art now that we all have cell phones and we're taking selfies left and right. But if you think about what goes into actually sitting down, having somebody paint or depict you, or we take different mediums, sculpt another person, and the kind of decisions that go into that, you can really learn a lot from a portrait.
Absolutely.
So we are taking submissions again, so they're going to be open until about the third week of February at PH Museum/Portrait. So you can check that out. We've got all the information on our website, our Facebook page. There's press release out there so people can check that out, and we're really excited to see what comes in because that's the thing. We know what we have in the collection. We don't know exactly what's out there in the community.
So I don't have to be a professional.
No,
we
take kind of all skill levels, all mediums. We do only have so much space, so we do kind of make some decisions, but we want to feature different styles, mediums. It'd be kind of a little boring if it was nothing but just oil paintings. We'd love to have watercolor,
Sure.
or sculpture, or stuff that we didn't even think about. When we did Perspectives and opened it up as any kind of art created, I think one of the coolest things we had was a soundscape. Something I never even thought of as art. Somebody, was a recording, you stepped into a booth, and you could just listen to a curated sound piece of art. It was really cool.
Yeah, we have a lot of creative people in this area. So
we sure do. We sure do.
Interesting. So this takes money, and running a wonderful museum like you have, we have some fundraisers coming up.
Yes, so the museum is a 501c3 nonprofit, so we are always kind of looking towards our funding sources. Last year, of course, we got the grants for free admission, which does continue until April of this year. So it was a one-year thing. Mm-hmm. So the Carnegie Center will be, free until April.
We're going
to see about the future of that, always doing some work behind the scenes. But fundraisers are part of life at a 501c3, and we've got some really fun ones coming up. There's two really big ones, things we've never done before. In March. So March 4th, we are doing a Highland evening, and it is, you can spend literally a whole day at this. It starts with a whiskey tasting at lunch.
At lunch.
Get your day started out right. We've got, actually, he's a whiskey ambassador for Scotland. He's a well-known expert in the field. You'll get to try some real high-end stuff and really learn through the process. So I think that might be interesting for somebody who already likes it.
Sure.
Could be great for somebody who, doesn't really know what goes in. I mean, I look at the people who are always talking about the smells and tastes.
Yeah.
A little lost on me.
So
yeah, I think it'll be something that'll be really interesting. And then we have a series series of speakers and musicians coming in for an entire evening of events that leads up to a great big dinner that we're having at the museum. So that is a Highland evening. Tickets are available now. They're actually going fast. We only have room for about 100 people to fit into the museum.
Sure.
And that's going to be a fun exhibit in March. And then just a couple weeks later, still in March, we're having a murder mystery.
Oh.
You know, we thought now that Discovery City is going away, that took up a lot of space, which is great to have everything. And when you go from an exhibit like that to an art exhibit, where there's lots of things like hanging on the wall and you've got a lot of floor space, we're like, we're not going to let this go to waste.
Yeah,
What
no.
can we do with the floor? So that's why there's kind of right on top of each other these two big events in our galleries. So it's a great chance to come into the museum.
Okay.
The murder mystery we're excited about, we're actually working with Ernest Worth, Worth Productions. A lot of people know
yes.
him locally.
Sure.
If you've ever seen one of his shows, you know it's a blast.
They're fun, yep.
And he has custom written us a show
Oh,
that'll be
neat.
unique for the museum. It's never been seen before.
Okay.
It is like dinner theater, so you get a whole meal. There's a chance to try and figure out the mystery. There's
Sure.
prizes. We're working on actually a huge selection of silent auction items that are coming in. We're really going all out. So there's a great chance to get some amazing deals on some really rare and kind of unique. What we're really focusing on is experiences. Everybody loves experiences, so
Very
those
good.
are the.
Where's the best place to go for information?
Yeah. So for Port Huron Museums, our Facebook page, we have all of our events listed there. You can find them on our website as well, phmuseum.org. You can also type in porthuronmuseums.org. All goes to the same place. But Port Huron Museums, put it in Google, you'll find it.
All right, very good. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely.
And thank you for watching Thumb Coast TV.